guys, this is Grace and welcome to my channel. This is process video number 3 for my double page layout mini series. And so again, I am working with a bunch of photos. I am scrapbooking some events from last year, and I figured double page layouts is the way to go. These papers are all from American Crafts. I got them at Joann's when they were having a sale, and they're just single-sided of some popular double-sided papers. And so I don't really know which collections they're from, but I know that they're American Crafts. So there you have it. Now I chose some papers that are really bright and summery because these photos were taken last summer. There is a amusement park over in Denver that we've never been to, but we've always wanted to. It's called Elitch Gardens. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, so we went there. I got a really good deal at Groupon one time, and so we tried it out last year and it was so much fun. But anyways, I am basing it off of a sketch from Scrapbook Generations, and I gotta say that this layout does not look anything like the sketch because I had a lot of photos to add to this, but it's all good. I think that's the beauty of the sketch, is you can fit it to however you need it. It's just kind of a jump start for inspiration. So I love this honeycomb paper. It's super yellow and it's just bright and summery, and there's a bunch of yellow hints on my page, or on my photos I should say, and so that worked out well. I'm cutting that up and I'm going to, usually I put my photos in first so that I know which part of the cardstock base I need to place my pattern papers on, because really if you have a lot of these papers or these photos, it's really going to be covered up. I mean, if you put pattern paper behind it, it's going to get covered up. So that's why I usually set my photos first to see where it's going to go. Now, the thing that I did differently here than I've done in the past 2 videos was to add some 3x4 pocket scrapbooking cards, and some of them are not exactly 3x4, but I needed some things to fill some empty spaces, and I also needed a title. I wanted to use up as much kind of paper products as I can, and so I figured that going with a 3x4 card that has words on it already will fit the bill. So I did pull out 3 of those over here. Now that happiness, I think it says happiness starts here. That is a 3x4 card from a Simple Stories pack that is specifically created for Disney scrapbooking or Disney memory keeping, and so, but I thought that the colors went well with the existing papers that I already have. So when you look at some items that you have, maybe think about it not necessarily for the purpose that it was made, but what you can include it with. You know, look at the colors, look at the patterns, and not necessarily like the package was really screaming Disney, but a lot of those cards don't have the Mickey Mouse, the famous Mickey Mouse ears, or Mickey Mouse castle, I mean the Disneyland castle and all that stuff. So that's my tip for you today. Now, part of the Simple Stories pack were this 3x4 paper that had these 4 smaller cameras, and I thought that would work really well with this photo as an accent. So another thing, or another tip that I have, is to look at your 3x4s, and maybe if there's some accents on there or some images that you can cut up and use as embellishments to your page, go for it, because that will just help you to maximize the supplies that you already have. So I am going to ink up the edges with some brown ink. I think it's a Cat's Eyes Color Box brown ink. And then I'm also going to be inking the 3x4 cards and also my journaling block. I will have a ton of leftovers of the dotted paper from this particular page because I couldn't find another way to add the dotted paper. I guess I could have added on the top and the bottom of the right page, but I wanted to see a little bit of the white paper background showing. But I will be adding some gray paper there in a little bit. You'll see me kind of figure it out because the spacing of the top and the bottom was just kind of too wide for it wouldn't balance from the left side where it's, you know, the pictures are reaching from the very, not the very edge, because I kind of move it around or move it a little bit down so that it will cover the whole of the left page. I'm sorry, I'm like stopping, I'm like figuring out what was I showing there earlier. And I think it's because I did put a little bit of dot on on one side of that strip paper because I knew I was going to cut that in half because part of that paper will be showing on the left side and then the rest of it will be on the right. I think that's what I was showing you there. I created these layouts maybe 2 weeks ago because whenever I have time, that's when I create. So sometimes I forget what I've already done. And now I'm going to be adding my really bold honeycomb yellow paper here. So I just want to say that I am grateful for everybody that stops by and watches my videos. I know that there's a lot of really awesome YouTubers out there, and I do watch them. I mean, I am as much as a creator, I am a consumer of YouTube videos as much as I create as well. So, but I do appreciate that everybody only has 24 hours in a day, and so I appreciate that you choose to take a little bit of that precious time of yours to watch my videos. It really makes my day, and I'm grateful for that. I am grateful for all those people that that comment, and you don't know how much that means to me when you take the time to comment. I do appreciate that as well. And if you have any questions, make sure that you leave it in the comment section below because I try to answer them as fast as I can. Not necessarily all the time because, you know, life gets in the way, but I do try to answer them as soon as I'm able to. So basically now I'm just adhering everything. You've already seen me kind of lay out everything beforehand, and you know, some people they want to adhere as they go, but I really like to move things around. I know it's kind of in a pain sometimes where you place them where you exactly want them and then you kind of move things around and then they shift, and sometimes that is a pain, but for me I'd rather have that time to be able to move things around and not regret where I stick them. So I'm just kind of figuring out where it's going to go. I do need to trim my journaling block just because it was coming out of the yellow box that I've prepared for it, and I didn't want that to go over to the striped one. Now my title will be this word "so happy." At first I was debating to do with the hello there, but the "so happy" as far as the font size was way bigger, and so I feel like the eye of the person looking at this page will look at that first than the hello there, so I figured that will be my title for that. And then now I've adhered everything. I think I want to add some embellishments, and instead of grabbing embellishments, pre-made embellishments, I'm going to layer a bunch of these papers, leftover papers for this particular kit. And I do have my cameras already, so those are my embellishments as well. But that's another tip that I have is if you want to maximize the papers that you've pulled out for a layout is to look at those papers and see if you can make your own handmade embellishments or at least accents from them. Now I kind of wanted to do the same thing that I did with video or layout number 2, which is to punch out the shapes from those solid colored striped pieces of the pattern paper. However, my circle punch was just way too big, and I really did not want to use a smaller punch because I wanted to have the scallop behind it. And so I just figured I will do two-tone papers, and they worked out just fine. Okay, so this is where I figured the right side was missing something on the top and the bottom. The width from the top and the bottom was just bugging me, and I needed something there. So I pulled out one of the stripe of the stripe paper. That's a lot of stripe in a sentence. And I am going to add some border punch. Now I do create a lot of these layouts all at the same time, and so you will see me kind of use the same tools over and over again because they're already on my table. So I don't need to like pull out different things just because they're a different layout. And so, and they just work perfectly. The size of the strip that I had worked just fine. I am going to trim some of them up because they are just going to be hidden from that strip of paper, and I'm not going to make them go all the way to the very edge of the left side. I'm just going to make them go to the edge of that kind of banner strip that I created with the dotted paper. So now I'm thinking I need a few more circle punch. I figured the hello there needed a camera, and I was thinking just putting the camera there, but it just felt a little bit odd being that I have the circle on two different places, and so I figured I'd repeat that just to kind of make it all balanced. Now I have these enamel butterflies, again from my stash, and I am going to use them all up here. And that makes me really happy to be able to use up another pack of product from my stash. So there it is. I'm going to show you what is left over. I have a little bit of the honeycomb, a lot of the dotted paper, but that's about it. And here are some close-ups, and I will catch you guys another day. Bye.